Mike Frisbee here, amigos, for Iowa Public Television's Sci Fi Friday Night. We'll be thrilling, chilling, and maybe spilling to the antics and adventures of Red Dwarf, the Invisible Man, Doctor Who, the acrobatic IPTV.org website logo that even now cascades across your screen. And yes, of course, Jack Horkheimer, who traditionally opens our show with a bit of hard science. The fiction follows, and the good humor and enthusiasm Jack establishes will be maintained. Stargazer, right now.
Confused about the cosmos? Can't tell a planet from a star? Then give us just 5 minutes, and we'll show you what they are. Jack Horkheimer, Stargazer, director of the Miami Space Transit Planetarium, tells you all about the night sky and the biggest show of all, the universe. And now this week's episode.
The closest meeting of the two largest planets for 20 years. Greetings, fellow Stargazers, and this is the week we've been waiting for since the beginning of the year. Indeed, this week and next, Jupiter and Saturn will be closer together than they will be for another 20 years. In fact, you won't see them this close together again until Christmas 2020. But before I show you, let's do a quick review of what we've been watching for the past several months. Okay, we've got our sky set up for New Year's night, January 1st, just after sunset facing west, where you'd have seen the three closest outer planets lined up in a row, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Then, as week after week, month after month went by, we watched as all three of them drew closer and closer together. January 15th, February 1st, February 15th, March 1st, March 15th. And then, finally, during the first week of April, Mars finally caught up with Jupiter in an extremely close meeting, and then moved on to another close meeting with Saturn the weekend of April 15th. And by that time, it was pretty obvious that while Mars had been slowly moving upward, climbing higher into the evening sky, Jupiter and Saturn were slowly moving downward, descending toward the horizon. And in fact, at the end of April, both Jupiter and Saturn disappeared from evening skies and remained too close to the sun to be seen for most of May. But now, ta-da! They will reemerge on the other side of the sun and slowly climb from below the horizon to just above it each successive day, just before dawn in morning skies. In fact, on Memorial Day, they were at their closest. And although they're slowly pulling apart from each other, they will still be closer to each other for the next 2 weeks than they will be for 20 years. So make sure you get out some morning during the next 2 weeks in pre-dawn twilight to see these two giants huddled side by side close to the eastern horizon. And I'm sure that many of you are very pleased that you've taken the time to go out once every couple of weeks since the beginning of this year to watch this incredible journey of the two largest planets. Indeed, this week and next is the climax. But as you look at them now and watch as they very slowly start to pull away from each other, keep in mind what these planets are really all about. Jupiter, named for the king of the Roman gods, is the largest of all the planets, 88,000 miles wide, which means we could stretch 11 Earths up side by side across its middle. While Saturn, named for a god who reigned during Rome's golden age, is the second largest, 75,000 miles wide, which means we could line up 9 1/3 Earths across its middle and 22 Earths from one edge of its ring system to the other. But most especially keep in mind that although they look extremely close together to the naked eye, it's only an illusion from our perspective. Because while this week Jupiter is 550 million miles away from Earth, Saturn is almost twice as far, 940 million miles away. So get thee out and watch this rare meeting of the two largest planets, which you won't see again for 2 decades hence. It's wonderful if you simply remember to keep looking up.
Jack Horkheimer's Stargazer is brought to you in part by Orion Telescopes and Binoculars, tools for discovering the planets, moon, and stars right from your own backyard. Orion has been serving stargazers since 1975.
Those of us who've been with the Dwarf guys for years may not realize that the show is no longer a cult hit. It's a commercial hit, one of the BBC's leading cash cows around the world. There exists tons of merchandise, novels, script books, 7 seasons of videos, plus outtakes and special videos, program guides, a newly published deluxe hardcover companion to the 8th season, the Lord knows what else. But it still comes down to what it first came down to when the show began 12 years ago. An intrepid bunch of putzes in over their heads. Like life itself, like Cassandra, tonight on Red Dwarf.
Funding for Red Dwarf has been provided by Friends of Iowa Public Television and by NetINS and the independent telephone companies of Iowa Network Services, providing affordable internet services to Iowans since 1993.